In this video, we're going to simulate 3 kinds of gunfights using Umarex Glock 43 caliber paintball guns with 7 rounds per mag. Even though we're using full CO2 cylinders for each round, because of the padding we're wearing under the t-shirts, some rounds will bounce off the torso and will not leave a mark. You will, however, be able to see the impacts if you watch closely. The distance is 10 feet, the most common distance for a gunfight. The first round will be with both shooters standing their ground and firing. The second round will be with one shooter moving and one static. The third round will be with both shooters moving. Both paintball Glocks are outfitted with green light sight optics. I'll be the shooter on the left. I have a reasonable degree of skill with firearms. My opponent has had some basic training but does not practice regularly. In this first round, you can see 3 impacts on the torso of the shooter to the right. It doesn't take much skill to make shots at this distance when you and your target are static, but that goes for them too. It doesn't take much skill for them to make hits on you. We're basically both just trading bullets. Since my first 3 body shots don't drop my opponent, and he is still shooting at me and is a lethal threat, I shift to a headshot, but since his hands are in front of his face, he gets shot in the hand, and we get a psychological stop, meaning my opponent stops due to pain and shock. But even though he only takes one last single-handed shot at me when he's in pain, he still gets his 3rd hit to my torso. Outcome? We each get shot 3 times in the torso. This is a lose-lose situation. In this second round, I'll move, my opponent will be static. As a result, I don't get shot, and I make 2 hits to my opponent's torso and 1 to his hands. You can see here that if my opponent was wearing body armor, by standing still and letting me flank him, the 2 shots that I made, both likely double long hits, would have come in from the side where there is minimal armor protection. In this final round, we'll both move. At this point, my opponent has had some time to get comfortable with the green light sight's optic. We'll start at 10 feet again, but as we both move to each other's flank, the distance extends to 20 feet, which is the maximum range we suggest for green light sights. Even though my opponent has far less training than I do, and both of his hands are injured and bleeding. With just 2 practice gunfights under his belt using a green light sight, he was able to make a headshot at 15 feet on the move, and at a moving target, with only one hand on his gun. Alright, let's debrief and go over what we've learned. 1. Stand and deliver gets both people shot. 2. A moving target is harder to hit. 3. Getting shot in the hands is common. You need to be able to shoot with either hand in case your primary hand is injured. 4. We know that body armor doesn't protect the head, but it also leaves the sides of your torso unprotected if you get flanked. 5. Green light sights work well in the 10 to 20 foot gunfight range. 6. These sights are very easy to master. 7. If you're ever in a gunfight, you better hope you have one of these sights on your gun,